Brother, go back to your African spirituality ways. Ma'at, arguing Jesus as a black man in the 21st century is so embarrassing and ridiculous, the truth will set you free. I think that what's actually embarrassing is having the name Nat Turner reborn and then arguing that as a black man, it's embarrassing for me to be a Christian. When Nat Turner is one of the most famous Christians in the world. But don't take my word for it. Nat Turner is widely regarded as one of the most complex figures in American history and American literature. Let's skip on down. Nat Turner was born October 2nd, 1800 on a plantation in Southampton County, Virginia. Turner was deeply committed to his Christian faith and believed he received messages from God through visions and signs in nature. Let's continue on. This is getting fun. In Nat Turner's Confessions, recorded by Thomas Gray, provides important clues to Turner's central religious beliefs. Most slaves could not read. Some of them owned Bibles, which could then serve as tangible reminders of the good news contained within. Turner, on the other hand, learned how to read as a child, and his Bible was the book that he knew intimately. When captured after the revolt, Turner readily placed his revolt in a biblical context, comparing himself at times or sometimes to the Old Testament prophets, at another point to who? Jesus Christ. In his Confessions, Turner quoted the Gospel of Luke twice, and scholars have found many other passages, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. Not only that, Thomas Oden in his book, How Africa Shaped the Christian Mind, says that the classic Christian mind is significantly shaped by the African imagination spawned on African soil. It bears the stamp of philosophical analysis, moral insight, discipline, and scriptural interpretations that bloom first in Africa before anywhere else. And Dr. Craig Cleaner and Glenn Usry says, through Africa, Christianity became the religion of the world. Nearly half of the most prominent church leaders in the first few centuries, such as Origen, Cyprian, Athanasius, and Augustine, were North African, and probably a fair number of these were dark in complexion. So actually what's embarrassing is you not knowing your own people's history, you not understanding the history of the African continent, and understanding that the people of color on the continent of North Africa were absolutely crucial in the spread and growth of Christianity in the first few centuries of its existence. If you had just a little bit more understanding, then you would know that Christianity could be considered an indigenous African religion, because on the day of Pentecost, the day that the church was birthed out, there were people there, according to Acts 2, 9 through 11, from 3 different places in North Africa. You can see there right on the chart, Egypt, where you talk about where Ma'at comes from as well, Libya, and then Cyrene. So on the day the church was birthed out, there were people there from 3 different places in North Africa. So absolutely, Christianity could be considered an indigenous African religion. So if you want to subscribe to African spirituality, to Ma'at, that is absolutely your right, it is your prerogative. I cannot and would not take that from you. But if you're going to come on this particular page and say that it's embarrassing and ridiculous for me as a black man to be subscribing to Christianity in the 21st century, then perhaps you should learn a little bit more about what you're talking about. Because as it stands right now, what's embarrassing and ridiculous is for you to be holding Nat Turner reborn as your name, but not forwarding Nat Turner's actual legacy. Love you, my brother. I want better for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Blessings.